All right. I've been working at this little lighting setup a little bit. Oh shit. Damn. I done did all that and I wasn't even recording because I had hit record on the computer but not on the microphone. I didn't say anything useful. I was just kind of fucking around with this light. And the point was, sometimes, bro, when you don't feel like doing anything, that's exactly the time to do fucking anything, right? Because you'll be in that little state, you're like bouncing around and just kind of like trying to occupy yourself, and you're doing dumb shit, like just like scrolling on your phone and fucking like you got dumbass thoughts and weak ass thoughts, and like no, there's no power, there's no action, there's no influence over your own life. You know, you're just kind of like low key, like we can kind of end up in a place where we just kind of don't even want to be engaging with some shit, and there's like it's like a fake comfort zone, and it's not that doing shit would be uncomfortable, but you know, it's just like a weird little like lethargy type of state, and that's exactly the time where you gotta do fucking something. You gotta do shit, right? You gotta do fucking something. And what I've come to see when we're in that place, which you don't always consider consciously when you're in the place, but as soon as you start doing shit, you realize what it was, right? You're just like, it's just a little vibe that you're like fucking wrestling with. You know what I mean? Like there's literally nothing physical, right? There's no physical enemy, physical threat. You know, there's literally like, you couldn't point your finger to one if you tried, unless you try to say like, oh, I'm hungover, or like, you know, my feet hurt, or something dumb like that, right? So there's literally just a little vibe that you're like fighting around with, wrestling around with, right? But the thing is, a vibe isn't in the flesh, right? You have the flesh and you control your body, and the vibe can try to like kind of hijack your body, can kind of try to hijack your attitude so that it has some control over how you choose to use your body, right? But ultimately, you're the one with the access to that. You're the one in the command center who decides what the fuck are we gonna do, right? And that's your little leverage point, because when you're wrestling with this fucking vibe, this little lethargy type of energy and shit, you're gonna need some leverage. And your leverage is that you have a body, and that you control this motherfucker, and that you can do shit. And that's that, dude. You know, like you can do shit, and that's your leverage. Every little thing you do is your leverage, right? And think about that, because when you're being all lethargic and shit, you're not doing shit, and it's almost like you don't want to do shit, as if like the vibe low-key kind of knows, you know, if you start doing shit, it don't have no more power and control. You know what I mean? Like the vibe, the doing shit is your leverage, right? And so like as soon as you start doing shit, and that's the thing, it doesn't fucking matter what you do. Not really. Like it doesn't really matter what you do, especially as long as you just keep it in mind that whatever I'm doing so that I can have some leverage over this little energy, right? Because let's be real, like it seems like we like that vibe. It seems like that's like, it doesn't seem like we love it, you know, but it's like it's there, and it's just like a little fucking fake, like it's like a little like, it's just like a, you know, you just like, you're there and you kind of want to stay there, but you really don't, because we got goals and shit, dude. We got shit to do, and we got like a whole lot of shit nagging at the back of our mind saying like, yo, we got to be doing this shit, because like this shit isn't gonna get done if we don't do it, you know. And like we have purpose, and we have like, you know, shit that we should be doing, you know what I mean? Like there are things that fulfill us, and then that little energy state will be like, you know, trying to keep you in there and shit. That was definitely going somewhere, but I don't know where it went. But that's okay, because the whole point is that we're doing shit, and you got to be doing shit to be getting over and through that shit and get out of that shit. And as soon as you start doing shit, as long as you do shit with the mentality of I'm doing this shit to get out of this state, because this state sucks, you know, get to my real energy and not be in this fucking, you know, laziness type of shit. As soon as you start doing anything, you know, you're just gonna compile momentum, and it's gonna like snowball, and then you're gonna feel more better doing other shit, and you're gonna feel like yourself, honestly. You know what I mean? You're gonna feel like yourself because you're doing shit, and you're somebody who does shit. Alright. I like this setup, but I don't like that. Okay, if I go too close to this, because I have a little like fill type of light over here bouncing off some surfaces, but this light is very warm, and this light is not warm. It's probably gonna look warm because I'm probably gonna adjust the temperature when I go in and like in post. I'm gonna like warm it up and bring up the exposure and shit. But this light is relatively cool, and this light that I'm using is fill light, just at a frame bouncing off of this little area over here. This is a warm light, and so I just realized right now as I'm looking at this, you know, if I bring this temperature, if I bring the whole thing up a little warmer, then every time that I've moved my hand over here, it's gonna be way too warm. It's gonna be like an ugly orange, I think. But it's something to fuck around with, and we're gonna see about that. Anyways, I have a song called Do Shit. Maybe it's Do Shit and Live. I did release it. I think I'm gonna include it on the album that I'm gonna release also. But that whole vibe, that's the vibe that I'm talking about. And I kind of made that song as a way of telling myself. And it does have a story aspect, and it has like a mentor type of relationship in the song. But that's about, dude, you gotta do shit. You gotta do shit. You gotta do shit. The fuck you here for if you're not gonna do shit? You know what I mean? And you'll notice for me, it's the times when you're not doing shit where you think about it, you know, should you be here? Shit like that, right? But as long as you're wrapped up in some activities, doing shit, productive shit, like you know, like a human does, like we're biologically made to be doing, you know what I mean? You're gonna be alright. I also have a card, a momentum card from back when I was making cards, and I think I'm gonna get back into that. I would like to produce another set in support of the themes that are represented in the album that I'm coming out with. But that's a momentum card, and I really, really like that. I was very, very proud of that. And that came along after probably like 28 days of doing cards consecutively, which makes sense because I had gathered momentum in it. And the whole idea is, dude, momentum, you know, if you small steps, small actions, go ahead and put your socks on, right? Go ahead and put your shoes on, you know, go ahead and wash your face, go ahead and do these small little actions, right? It's just going to build momentum, and that's going to apply either direction, right? And, you know, that can apply negatively, can apply positively. And in the same regard, if you like kill momentum, you know, now you have to kind of reinitiate momentum, you know, so you want to like, we always want to be cautious of the momentum that we're carrying, and in which directions we're going, and in which influences we're really taking on, and which kind of states we're going into, sinking into, rising into, creating, expanding, contracting, all the bullshit. Fake ass smile.